Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, how we doing on this fine Tuesday? We good? Everybody doing well? That's good, that's good, that's good. We gonna cook today. Cause it seemed like our new favorite word is grifter. I'm gonna show you a real one. For those of you who do not know who Patrisse Cullors is, she is one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter. That should tell y'all you need to know. Right there. That should tell y'all you need to know. The first thing that I want to do is I'm going to read out what a grifter is. A grifter is basically a con person. To grift is to obtain money or property illicitly, as in a con game. To acquire money or property illicitly. If we want a little bit more comprehensive concept of a grifter, it would be a grifter is basically a con artist. A grifter can also be referred to as a swindler, a scammer, or a cheater. Grifters often prey on those at their weakest points, manipulating real human emotions in devious ways. In politics, it is someone who obtains money by swindling or tricking others. It refers to people who use the political process as a way to enrich themselves. Okay. Now, that's the actual definition of a grifter. Interestingly enough, I'm not here to talk about Black Lives Matter. That was her biggest theft from the black community. You remember last year, I had a whole campaign going. I had a whole petition going. And in the background of that campaign and petition, I was trying to reach out to the various smaller grassroots chapters, so-called, of Black Lives Matter. Only to, after months of getting the runaround, after months of not being able to reach anybody, no matter how I attempted to contact them, and this was in 2022, where it should not be difficult to communicate with anybody because people have social media, phone numbers, addresses, offices, emails, all kinds of stuff. So every time I would run into supposed contact information, that contact information would be a dead end. Going to them on Facebook, on Twitter, on various social media, yielded nothing. Yielded nothing. I got one response, which I did a video on, and it was a hyena that responded to me, if y'all remember that. So eventually I had to call off the entire petition because there was a whole thing that we were going to do in the interest of holding Black Lives Matter accountable for the grifting that they had done on the Black community, only to find that Black Lives Matter exists only as a hashtag, not as an actual organization that could be reached or that could be contacted. There was no centralization of it. There was no structure of it. There was no parent Black Lives Matter like you would expect that would be in contact with smaller chapters by city. Nothing. So we had to stop because literally on a wild goose chase, there was nothing to hold accountable. Patrisse Cullors, I believe in 2021, along with her cohorts, stepped down as executive directors of Black Lives Matter, interestingly, after $90 million had been paid to the organization. Now, I found it interesting that there was contact enough to pay them. The money could reach them, but you can't reach them. The money could get to her, but you can't get to her. The money could go somewhere. The money has somewhere to go. The money has somewhere to go. But trying to speak to anybody at all. It didn't have to be Patrisse Cullors. It didn't have to be Alicia Garza. It didn't have to be Opal Tometi. It didn't have to be one of those three. Anybody from the organization would have done. They didn't have that. That wasn't available. So now I have an article to play, an article to read, and then I got a video to play. Now, I may not be able to monetize it because I want to actually play the video for you. I don't want you to just hear it. I want you to see this foolishness. I want you to see this foolishness, and then we're going to really go in because I'm going to read the article, and the article has even more foolishness in it than the video. Because now she on a whole new grift. Whole new grift. The IRS pump faked like they were going to get her on tax evasion. That hasn't happened. But let's get into the video. It ain't but 53 seconds. I just...
For a long time, I've spent the better half of my own life fighting on behalf of others. Obviously, that fight on behalf of others is also a fight for myself and my community and loved ones. But I've really found in the last couple of years that it's taken a lot to figure out how to fight for myself and fight for my mental health, spiritual health, and emotional health. These artworks are a really deeply personal call to fighting for myself, especially as a Black woman when many people don't fight for us.
I just want y'all to see that. Let me. I'm gonna stop sharing. Thank you, Miss 39 Dina, for kicking off the contributions. Thank you so much. You know what? I'm not even gonna ask. I'm just gonna do it. No, we don't want you to start over. That was her, mind you. I just wanted y'all to see what that was. Thank you, D said Crimson Sea. Will you please discuss the lady in Forest Park that tried to run over two sisters? Then she flipped her car. Her zaddy was with her. Yeah, I'll discuss that at some point. I just wanted you to see that nonsense. Now I'm going to read the article because that was her in that video. That was nobody else. That was her trying to do some type of, you know what? Because I'm going to cook her. But anyway. Patrisse Cullors was sitting at a table outside the Crenshaw Dairy Mart, the art collective she co-founded in Inglewood, California, taking advantage of a rare break in the March rains when her phone buzzed with a text message a few weeks ago. Cullors broke into a contented grin. One of her art pieces had just sold. The work, a tapestry made of vintage mud cloth from Mali and adorned with cowrie shells, is part of her current show at the Charlie James Gallery in Chinatown, an exhibit honoring traditions of the Ifa religion of the Yoruba in West Africa. A few nights earlier, the longtime artist and activist best known for co-founding Black Lives Matter had experienced another satisfying artistic moment, a solo performance at the Broad Museum in which she unfurled, get this, a 360-foot long bonnet. That was a bonnet. What that material she had in her hand, that trail behind her, that was a bonnet. Bonnet meant as a symbol of protection for Black women, among other things, in a show about healing amid hate. Cullors is leaning into her art these days, gaining sustenance and perspective from it. She speaks of it as not just a vocation, but a means of salvation. At one point, the impact of accusations of financial mismanagement at BLM, from which she resigned in 2021, wounded her so deeply that her mental health was imperiled and she felt her very life was in danger, she says. What has ultimately saved her more than once, she feels, is her art. So much of the last few years has been, to be really honest, just deep depression and anxiety and a lot of trauma, a lot of freezing, a lot of fear, she says. And I just keep going back to my art practice. I kept going back to art. And every time I would go back to art, I would feel like myself again. I would feel more connected again, and I would feel more hopeful. My art practice has saved my life over and over again. In 2019, after nearly 7 years in the public spotlight as co-founder of BLM, Cullors contemplated quietly transitioning from day-to-day leadership of the BLM Global Network. But in 2020, after the deletion of George Floyd, and a tidal wave of donations to BLM's foundation amid historic racial justice protests nationwide. Cullors became the organization's full-time executive director. She says she intended to help build out the foundation's infrastructure so it could manage the surge in resources. After the organization revealed it had taken in close to $90 million from donors through early 2021, Cullors and the foundation were targets of sharp criticism from the left and right, and from both inside and outside the broader movement. Far-right critics published reports of Cullors' purchase of a Southern California home, and many on the left pushed unproven allegations that she misused the donated funds. The controversy eventually quieted, but not before Cullors hired security out of concern for her personal safety. She resigned from the foundation in May of 2021. I find it interesting that after hyenas have bitten you, gutted you, ripped your head off, tore your family down, did everything dirty that they could do to you, then when you come at them or critique them, or you speak out against what they have done, all of a sudden they don't feel secure and they feel unprotected, and now their safety is at risk. I find that so interesting and so disgusting. Anyway, then in 2022, criticisms of Cullors and BLM intensified again after the foundation confirmed in nonprofit tax filings that it spent $6 million on a Los Angeles area compound that included a home with 6 bedrooms and bathrooms, swimming pool, and soundstage and office space. The foundation has said the property is used as a campus for a Black Artist Fellowship, but Cullors also acknowledged using the home for personal reasons on 2 occasions. As the controversy faded last year, Cullors focused on her art. At the start of 2023, tragedy struck the Cullors family. Her 31-year-old cousin, Keenan Anderson, a father of a 5-year-old boy and English teacher at high school in Washington, D.C., died after being zapped by a stun gun during an encounter with Los Angeles traffic police. Cullors joined with family members and local activists in calls for police reform. Let me come back. Let me come back to that. Thank you. Original Man said BLM also sponsored that woman twerking at the MLK Memorial. Thank you so much. Thank you. Metho said that money won't make her any better than what she is. Precisely. Thank you, Lucky Lefty. Kendra, I always enjoy your content. Personally, I don't see how these hyenas sleep at night for the damage they cause. It's because they don't care. Thank you, Jeffrey says she belonged with the pigs rolling in the slop. Thank you so much. Thank you, KW Don said BLM is an alphabet crew front group bankrolled by George Soros. Exactly. Thank you, D said sorry, didn't mean to change energy. Oh, no. It's fine. Thank you all so much for your contributions. Thank you, MI says she needs something to take her mind off the incredible guilt she feels for ripping off the Black community, thus the bullcrap art performance. Precisely. This is to help her sleep. But I found it interesting. I found it of particular interest that her cousin, may he rest in peace, and my condolences to the family, found it interesting that her cousin, a Black man, died in similar fashion to the Black men who Black Lives Matter trample on their dead bodies, to then become an organization that didn't have nothing to do with the advocacy of Black men and everything to do with the advocacy of breaking up the Black family and the Rainbow Coalition. I found that real interesting. I found that real karmic. Thank you, LD said it's the unmitigated gall for me. Can't believe she's even showing her face. Precisely. We ain't nobody done with you. Ain't nobody forgot you. I just find it real ironic that her Black male cousin unfortunately passed away, but he did so in the same way that the other black men passed away. But she stood on the bodies of them men. She got what she got off of the dead carcasses of black men. Men that she didn't care about. Men that she ain't got no love for. Men that she don't have no empathy for. Black Lives Matter was specifically thought about as a hashtag or whatever in response to the seemingly every other month or so deletion of black men at the hands of various police departments. Michael Brown and Eric Garner and, so it's too many to name. Black Lives Matter was founded on those men. She used the death of those men to pull on the heartstrings of the community. Because we could see the injustice with our eyes. And we needed something to rally around. And that seemed as good of a rally cry as any, that our lives mattered, that we matter. In other words, we are not this dehumanized thing that the institution and the environment sees us as, particularly our men, to not see them as human beings, but to see them as just objects, which could offhandedly be deleted and nobody say nothing about it. Police officers don't get arrested. They don't stand trial. All they got to do is say they fear for their life. And a black man can be deleted at any time for any reason, no matter what he do. So we felt that. All across the nation, we felt that. One of the last straws that got them that money was George Floyd. George Floyd in particular, the death of that black man got them $90 million because they was not getting that volume of donation until that video circulated around the world as we watched a black man be deleted over the course of 8 minutes and some seconds. As we watched the life drain out of this man. As we watched the officer casually delete him with his hands in his pocket, with his freaking mitts in his pocket, looking at the camera like, and with impunity. It was everything he could do to keep from smiling about it. So we rallied around. We was just off the pandemic or whatever. We was in the midst of it, matter of fact. And it was people in other countries that saw that video and understood the tragedy in it. They was protesting. Thank you, Jokers that cook big plates. Thank you so much. And it wasn't just organizations that was giving money, because various companies and stuff was giving money, but people were giving money too. Because it's like, okay, if the money come in, because ain't that what We always cry about when we're not able to organize and do nothing without the money. Okay, $90 million should be enough to get anybody started doing anything they was trying to do. And with that money, she didn't pay somebody to help organize Black Lives Matter so that they could handle what was going on with them. If she didn't know how to do it, if Alicia didn't know how to do it, if Opal didn't know how to do it, and I know that they didn't because they 3 women and they ain't got no system, order, and structure, so they didn't know how to structure that. They was just there, talking loud and saying nothing, rallying people up without a plan. If you was really trying to do right, you would have taken that money and you would have hired black men, competent black men, to help you set up the non-for-profit the way that it should have been set up and help you set the system up so that the money could be distributed in a helpful, positive, constructive way. But she didn't do that. That did not happen. That did not happen. What happened was, started distributing the money to her baby daddy, her wife's organization. The other 2 was doing the same, buying mansions in the whitest parts of the United States she could find, and just overall spending the money because you know that's how hyenas act when they never had nothing. And they don't know what to do with it when they get it. Thank you, Ty Boxing says, scam to steal money off the deaths of black men. She never supported, just trifling. Exactly. Never supported the black men at all. Don't even care about them. Don't care about them men. Change the mission statement, because I remember when the mission statement reflected what everybody thought Black Lives Matter was supposed to represent. And then as they started moving a little funny, you go back to the website to see what the mission statement is, and they do not like heterosexual black men at all, and do not believe that they need to be in charge of family units nor any other position of import within the so-called black community. As a matter of fact, they supported non-gender conforming, all that foolishness, all that mumbo jumbo. Thank you, Theo. Thank you so much, sweetheart. So I found it real ironic that her cousin passed away in just that same way. Yeah, her cousin became part of a long line of black male bodies that she trampled on to get where she is at. So now that she has been called out, she can't go back to Black Lives Matter. She can't do that con again. It gathered the money, ain't no reason to go back to it. She was somewhat disgraced about it. Not really able to be held accountable for it. She thought she could go into hiding and nobody would remember how she lied and scammed $90 million out of everybody. Nobody was going to remember how she ran off on the plug. And she thought she could re-enter the public eye. And I'm going to tell you who she going to grift next. But before I finish cooking her for filth, we're going to cut to a commercial break. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
First, Gamer vs. Gamer does not consider itself a game truck. To clarify, a game truck is one that pulls up to your home, opens its doors, and tells the kids to go play video games. The entire focus of a game truck is on playing video games. That's not what we do at Gamer vs. Gamer. Our entire focus is actually on celebrating your child's birthday. Only 65% of what we do is video game related. The other 35% of our time is spent on a choreographed recognition of your child's special day.
Happy birthday. Wish we were there. Sorry we missed it, but we'll see you soon. Love you.
Which includes singing, eating, special videos, and the opening of gifts. We chose to use video games as a tool to entertain children at the party, not as a substitute for a birthday party. We only advertise as a game truck because that's what the general public associates us as.
Gamer versus gamer.
Gamer versus Gamer. We look forward to treating your child like the most important kid in the world on their birthday.
Hi, Gamer vs. Gamer. Thank you so much for my birthday party.
Today's show is brought to you by the wonderful people at gamerversusgamer.com. I am so happy that they are sponsoring these shows, and I really appreciate that company for the family value that it represents. And it really is not just a game truck, even though that's technically, I would guess, the category that they fall into. It's really so much more than that, because they don't just provide a place for your children to come and play video games that they probably have at home, but it serves as a focal point, as a place where the whole family can come and truly celebrate this child's birthday and give the child an unforgettable experience, and also give the parents an unforgettable experience, while at the same time removing all of the guesswork and all of the hard work out of planning a wonderful and maybe even an elaborate children's birthday party. So if you or anyone that you know are in the Atlanta metropolitan area with children, they have birthdays coming up, and you definitely want to do yourself and your child a favor by clicking the link at the top of the chat, gamerversusgamer.com. Go to their website, give them a call, and let them know what kind of party you're looking to give, and I guarantee you that they will not only meet, they will exceed your expectations. All right. Before I get back to this cook, I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to, because we have 352 people here, but let's see if we can get the next 400 people to hit the like button as well. Let me go ahead and read these super chats really quickly. All right. Thank you. Stephen Howell said, thank you. It's time more sisters call out the scam crap they did. Sisters hold the sisters accountable. Thank you so much. Thank you. Dusty said the deacon just tuned in, but I hope you all are seeing how that young man was almost deleted in KC, and the alphabet folks are already trying to lay their claim on him. Thank you so, so much. We blaming her because she was willing to be the face. Yeah, we talking about her. We already know what the Democratic Party and this system and politicians and the way these institutions work. We already know that. We are calling out those who are willing to be the face and the front men, and in this case, the front women, of coming to the community, making sure that they come in blackface and talk to us. They act as the middlemen because we share culture and skin color, and they talk to us in the language that Zaddy can't come talk to us in. And then do everything that they possibly can to continue to disrupt the black community, to continue to divide us, to continue to plant those seeds between us, and then run back with they little 30 pieces of silver. So interested in the butter biscuit crumbs off of Zaddy's table. We calling them out. I'm going to tell you what this foolishness is about by finishing this article. As she turned to art, in a sense to express her grief at the influential Freeze Los Angeles Art Fair, she held a performance disruption in February along with fellow activist Jaquil Knight, a peaceful protest to bring attention to the deaths of black people at traffic stops. Girl, if you don't knock that off. The year so far has been a busy one for the artist, activist, and author who also has a multi-year TV development deal with Warner Brothers and is working on a show about the impact of local politics on women. Her recent show at the Broad, her second at the Contemporary Art Museum, was part of an evening focusing on the effects of colonialism on literature, language, and music of people of color. It reflected her experience with what she describes as the impact of right-wing media on black people and black leaders through targeted misinformation and disinformation campaigns. Because I guess she feel like a victim. Girl, bye. The performance titled Don't Disappear Us, Keep Us Leaping, Low Riders and Bonnets That Heal, centered on a few seemingly mundane artifacts. The bonnet, which she says has a protective symbolism for black women, a partially built lowrider, and a trampoline that she need to use. The piece included a live singer and a recording of Cullors chanting in her daily Ifa religious practice. Religion will also be a theme of a multi-artist exhibit beginning in October at the Fowler Museum at UCLA, highlighting Yoruba art and featuring works from Nigeria, Brazil, Cuba, and the United States. We can stop. Oh, let me get to this other part. She says, she's using the buzzword self-care. I have spent the better half of my own life fighting on behalf of others. But in the last couple of years, it has taken a lot to figure out how to fight for myself and to fight for my mental health, spiritual health, and emotional health. These artworks are really a deeply personal call to fight for myself, especially as a black woman, because many people don't fight for us. She got all she could off of black men's dead bodies. Now she gonna grift all she can from the sisterhood. Told y'all these hyenas eat each other. They cannibalize each other. She coming for y'all. Hyena clan, sisterhood, Your girl. Your girl. Your girl coming for y'all. She gonna get that next 90 million out of you. Because she gonna play on your little buzzwords. Healing. Self-care. She gonna play on your dysfunction with these dang gone bonnets everywhere. She gonna play on your dysfunction. She not gonna try to heal you. I don't know much about the Yoruba religion. I don't know much about the different religions and spiritual systems of Africa. I don't. And I'm not even going to sit here and act like I do. But if it is a spiritual system that is based on anything righteous, I don't believe it tell you to grift everywhere you go and be a whole scam and lie to people to steal from them. I'm pretty sure the Yoruba religion don't tell you how to do that. But she's using the tools of white supremacy again to scam the other side of the black community. Because remember, hyenas believe that the black community is two separate things. Black men are their own community. Black women are a separate community. She got all the money she was going to get off of the dead bodies of black men. She didn't get all that. Now she coming for the insecurity of black women. By helping you to normalize your dysfunction so she can make a buck off of it. See, that's the definition of a grifter. That's the real con. To keep the dysfunction going, to not offer any solution at all, but to feed the fuel that keeps those divisive fires going. Grifting is not when you're doing what you're supposed to do and you happen to be getting paid for your time in doing it. Grifting is when you come to a community with no intention to help them, but they don't know that. When you come to just eat off of the dysfunction. No solution. No way out. No bringing of value to them so that one day they won't be dysfunctional. Thank you, Scorched Earth, says she's making a mockery of the Yoruba teachings. Probably so. Because nobody protects us. Now she about to play on all y'all insecurities and you got a bunch of them. Thank you, Dusty. Said Book of Dramatic Arts 499. Performative favors were done for 30 pieces of fried flour fowl. The street gutters that overrunneth with the blood of our brethren was a small price for tokenage to be near high society. Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Roderick. Said you are a blessing to us, a balm in Gilead. Oh, thank you so much. Because I understand that reference quite well. Thank you so much, Roderick. I greatly appreciate your contribution, Roderick. Thank you so much, sweetheart. And I thank everybody for their contributions very much. Miss Felicia says a Yoruba practitioner here. She's totally wrong. I figure she is. I figure she is. I figure she wrong. Because like I said, I don't know nothing about the Yoruba religion, so I can't speak on it with any type of competency. But if there's anything righteous in it, it ain't telling you to do this. It ain't telling you to lie on folk and lie to people and scam and con. Pretty sure it don't say that nowhere. They kept, like you said, like somebody said in the chat, kept that documentary that Candace Owens was doing about it, the greatest lie ever sold about Black Lives Matter, kept that under wraps. You didn't see a whole lot of clips and you didn't see a whole lot of shorts like you did when Matt Walsh did What Is a Woman. So you had a bunch of little clips and remixes and little shorts for that. But for Candace Owens' little documentary, they ain't have nothing for that. And me and Candace do not see eye to eye except when she get on a feminist head. That's the only time me and her see eye to eye. So me and her don't see eye to eye. But Candace did pull up. And she did do a documentary. So I'm not going to take that from her. And it kept that quiet. But I'm not going to be quiet. Because I had been trying to hold them accountable since 2021. And couldn't do it. Could not do it. Because they don't exist. But she coming for them. She coming for other hyenas now. She want to keep the dysfunction of Black women normalized. So she can capitalize off of it. Keep y'all scribbling and scrambling around with these bonnets and this foolishness. And I really was going to do an entire show on how Black women normalize their own dysfunction off of the back of the video that I did earlier about old girl talking about her genitalia. Thank you, Dusty. Said Book of Sorcery 3:2. Beware, that she heathen has embellished herself in the darkest of arts. The blood of men, lies, and abominable lifestyle are but sacrifices for demonic masters. Thank you so much, Dusty. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you there. I said it said trying to do a good thing is never a failure, Crimson. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm a little bit disturbed. And I'm going to tell you why. And I got to say this. I got to say this because it's a lot going on outside the space. In the real world, it's a lot going on in this space. And I have been very purposeful in how I have and have not, specifically have not, spoken about certain things that we've seen around here. But that's kind of what led me to talk about the grifting. I wanted to show you the face of a grifter for real. Somebody that come play in your face and then roll out like they didn't do nothing. I mean, she's literally trying to reinvent herself like she didn't have nothing to do with Black Lives Matter and the misappropriation of that money. She's literally trying to act as if she didn't have nothing to do with that. She's literally trying to rebrand herself as, you know, she practices Yoruba and she's so spiritual. What we tell you about the spiritual value in the lost value system? What we tell you about that? It don't have what? Truth in it. It doesn't have any truth in it. The spiritual value in the lost value system don't contain no truth. Therefore, you never get out of it don't really do nothing. It's just a lot of buzzwords. It's just a lot of feel-goodery. It's just a lot of, fluff. BS. Using an actual spiritual system that people practice for her own personal gain. She using it. That's another tool and tactic of white supremacist system. To utilize religion to colonize you. To utilize a religion and twist it, twist the narrative, twist the meaning, twist the intent, then colonize you with it. Get close to you with something that you care about. Or something that looks on code, or something that looks as if it has some depth to its culture. Let me get these super chats and I'm going to talk about that part. Thank you, Pernell said this is not wolves in sheep's clothing. This is a sheep leading other sheep to the wolves. Thank you so much. And yes. Thank you, Quiet Storm said, Kendra, I was proud you made it all the way to phase 3 of your BLM initiative. I completely understood why you stopped, but that email you showed us of BLM response was disgusting and childish. Indeed it was. I'm going to tell you about that utilizing, why that would work, even with American Black women that don't know nothing about Yoruba and would not do any research to find out about it, to see what it's really about. I'm going to tell you why it would work as a grift on a group of women that have mostly no spiritual senses, or it has been a Christian background. And it may, in some cases, have been like a Muslim background or a nation background for some. I'm going to tell you why it worked. Because it's something that seems like there is depth in the culture or depth in it, because we lack the values to create a worthy in-depth culture. One second. We don't have any value. We lack the values to create a substantive culture. So black women that don't have any spiritual sense will gravitate towards it because it look like it's doing something. It look like it's doing something. It look like it's better than what they got. I agree with Mike M. But anyway. But I just wanted to come here and talk about that real quick. Because we do real work over here. No buzzwords. There's work here. Because one of these days, there won't be a need for Crimson Cure. One day there won't be a need for Crimson Cure. And I'm at peace with that because I want there to be a day where this message is not as critical as it is now, because I want us to be in such a better position that we can discuss something else. By the way, the Yoruba religion was brought up in this conversation due to her. But if I offended anyone that practices Yoruba, then my apologies. I didn't mean to. If on the off chance that I said anything offensive, then I was not trying to be offensive about anybody's spiritual system. So when I say there's no truth in what she's doing spiritually, I mean she's not even being truthful about that. She's using it in a dishonest way. Thank you again, Dusty said Book of Scholars 2:1. She's the bearer of the lantern of truth. 100,000 wayward travelers have been given a compass to guide them in their journey of away from trials and tribulations. The same spirit that guided us to freedom. Thank you so much. I don't think other people get your super chat. I don't think other people get your super chats, but I do. And so thank you. Thank you so much, Dusty. I greatly appreciate that. I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank everyone for their contribution. Thank you so much for all of your participation. Greatly appreciated. I think let me see if I got any cash apps. Because sometimes I do. Thank you, Aubrey, and thank you, Jarvis. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your contributions through Cash App. Thank you. So they're asking what's going on in Chicago. Y'all are talking about that little mob. There was actually nothing that preceded that mob. That was like a flash mob. They all put that together on social media and said meet up. And so it went, all over social media, whatever, and they all met up at Millennium Park, but it was like thousands of them. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. Wasn't around it. But that's why they were together. So there was no particular event that caused them to come together like that, nor was there a particular event that caused them to start clowning and rioting and tearing up stuff and shooting people. That wasn't there either. Once the police got word that there was like a flash mob showing up, the police showed up because Millennium Park is downtown, right next to, it is right on the Gold Coast, right? Not far from the Magnificent Mile. So the police came out in force for the teenagers to manage them because you can't get into Millennium Park after a certain hour under 21. Now, I don't know why, but that is what it is. That's a little rule. And so when they didn't want to disperse and they didn't want to hear what the cops were talking about, the cops was trying to make them disperse. Because this is a large crowd, we can't contain or manage you. And it's not like it's a concert or something going on. Y'all just here. So you need to disperse or whatever. And they wasn't using the police, from what I heard, was not using no undue force or anything like that. They was just like trying to hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Some of them was on horses. Some of them was, because Chicago police good for some horses. And just trying to get them to disperse out. And they didn't want to disperse. And so you know how they're going to do. They're going to start fighting and acting a fool. Got the fight started breaking out. Everybody getting rah-rah. Everybody got rowdy. Start tearing stuff up. Start tearing up cars, jumping on cars. Like 2 teens got shot, I do believe. Bunch of other people got hurt. Bunch of other people got beat up. A lot of different property people, cars was getting messed up. They busting windows, all kinds of stuff. Busting windows out of the shops. Them shops are very expensive downtown. Very expensive downtown. You bust a window out of one of them shops, man. I don't care if it's a Gucci, Louis, Prada, Tom Ford. There's Ferragamos down there. It's all kinds of stuff. Listen, that stuff costs a mint. I know they got insurance and all that kind of stuff, but it's a headache to get that stuff fixed, because Chicago's downtown is actually it's visually beautiful. The Magnificent Mile and all the shops and all, it's actually rather beautiful aesthetically. So they maintain it very well. You don't go down there and it's, boarded up windows and all that kind of stuff, because these are high-end shops. So they're not going to tolerate a high-end shop. You know what I'm saying? You got an Armani shop with a board in the window. Like, no. I fully expect the shop owners and the owners of those buildings and things like that to start putting pressure on the mayor's office to crack down on that. So what's going to start happening is they're going to start cracking down on Black youth and Black neighborhoods and stuff like that. You're going to be very restricted Black people are going to be very restricted coming downtown. If you ain't working down there or going to school down there, or you got a reason to be down there, I can fully see Chicago police stopping black people and asking them why you there. Like kind of low key randomly. Like if you don't look like you belong. Or stopping groups from forming up. Like I can completely see that. Chicago police will do that. Chicago will do that. Chicago will draw a race line in a minute and don't think nothing about it and won't be told no. For as blue as Illinois is, for as Democrat and leftist as Illinois is and Chicago is, they'll draw a race line in a minute. Chicago's very segregated. But the police department, you know, they might be still handcuffed a little bit because of Lori Lightfoot and Brandon Johnson. He don't seem like he is any better with it. I don't know if the police department gonna like him either, because he already talking about don't demonize the teenagers down there. You know, nobody want to hear that. When your people done got beat up and your car done got messed up. You know, I wish I would come back outside my BMW trashed. Like, you kidding me? When people come to tourists in Chicago, they go downtown. They go to the Gold Coast. They go to the Magnificent Mile. They go to the museum campus. All of that stuff is downtown. They come into Grant Park for Lollapalooza. They come into Grant and Millennium Park for all of the festivals. They come in for Gallery 37. They come in to do all that stuff downtown. They don't want to see no 100 hood rats and back feet and a hyena clan roaming around. They don't want to see that. Then white folks is quick to get mad in Chicago. White folks will band together in Chicago. That is not odd. That is not out of the question here. And white folk with money, because it's millionaires and billionaires live down there. They not trying to have that stuff. They are not trying to walk around like they in the hood. Ain't no way in the world you done bought 4 floors of a high rise for $2 million, and I got to come down there and see a bunch of nigglets walking down the street. You know them white people ain't trying to go for that. You know they not trying to go for that. Them white folks is not going for that. You mean to tell me I got to come outside, you know, with my what you call them dogs? Them golden doodles. I'm not trying to come outside with my golden doodle. And it's a group of 50 little back feet coming my way. You know when white folk get no. Oh, white folks still do that here in Chicago. They still do that when you black and you walk past them. They still do that. That white girl ain't trying to cut. Yeah, exactly. Them Grim Lords. They're trying to see 50 Grim Lords coming their way. That white woman done came out of her house with her little teacup chihuahua in her little purse. Okay? The little carry case is just for him. It looked like a little Gucci purse. And she is not trying to come outside to see no teenage Grim Lords. Bad enough to tell concrete with the bare hands. They ain't trying to see them grim lords. Bad as Jesse James was a man. They ain't trying to see no bunch of grim lords coming together. Them white folks is quick. They'll lobby. They'll shut that mayor office down. Them white folk will shut that mayor's office down. You understand that? I told y'all, them uppity white women, them older white women, you know, she's in her 50s, 60s, and her husband is made of mint. Okay. And she's coming outside, and she, you know, they still get startled when you black down. You know, you go to certain parts and they get startled. The working white folk class, they don't do that. But the ones that live down there, they paying millions of dollars to live down there and they bought property down there. You know, they want to know. Go in Burberry if you want to. And it's just you and you black. See, I don't even fool with it like that. That's why I don't fool with them name brands like that. I got a couple of name brand things. I don't go crazy with that label. Go in Burberry. Go on in there. They look at you. Hello. How are you? Is there something that I can help you with today? Yeah. What that mean is, you know, why you in here, Grimlord? You don't belong here. I know you ain't got no money. Oh, hi. Oh, it's so wonderful. They don't even welcome you to the store. They just say hi. Everybody else, you know, welcome to Prada. And here you have over here, you know, you roll out you come in. Hello, how are you? I'm fine. Is there anything I can help you with? You need any help? You know, I just walked in. I don't know if I need no help or not. You know what I mean? And they'll go in there and spend their money anyway. Anyway, I gotta go, y'all. But thank you once again so much. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye bye, Crimsonites.